The supply of cluster munitions to Ukraine is one of the most controversial topics in the West. After all, the international convention adopted in 2008 and signed by more than 100 countries of the world prohibits their usage, transfer, production and storage. However, Ukraine, like Russia, did not sign the document.
Russia has been using cluster munitions since the start of this war to attack Ukraine. Russia has been using cluster munitions with high dud or failure rates of between 30 and 40%. In this environment, Ukraine has been requesting cluster munitions in order to defend its own sovereign territory. The cluster munitions that we would provide have dud rates far below what Russia is providing, not higher than 2.5%.
Modern American shells will simplify the process of clearing mines after the end of the Russian war. The United States is ready to invest in the security of the deoccupied territories. They have already allocated more than $95 million for demining, and they promise to mitigate the consequences of the use of cluster munitions by both the Ukrainian and Russian armies in the future.
The Ukrainian government has offered us assurances in writing on the responsible use of DPICMs, including that they will not use the rounds in civilian-populated urban environments, and that they will record where they use these rounds, which will simplify later demining efforts. Ukraine also has committed to post-conflict demining efforts to mitigate any potential harm to civilians.
The wide range of American cluster shells will help the armed forces of Ukraine save ammunition and strike at the accumulation of precisely enemy equipment, not manpower.
This is such a projectile, it somehow even resembles a rocket. When it is fired, it scatters into about 350 small projectiles. Different manufacturers, different amounts of them. And they cover an area of about 700 squares. A very large area, somewhere up to the football field. There is nothing left at all, but the equipment scatters either. That is, the territory is completely covered.
The EU states also continue military support for Ukraine. The Czech Prime Minister promised that the country would donate additional attack helicopters, ammunition and help train pilots on Western fighter jets. According to experts, Eastern European countries supply Ukraine with shells of 155 and 105 calibers.
Part of the ammunition from Eastern Europe, from the European Union, primarily Bulgaria, the Czech Republic, countries that had and still have a very powerful military-industrial complex. That part is of old Soviet-era calibers. These are the calibers that we really need in order to use the artillery that has remained in Ukraine since Soviet times.
The European Union announced the acceleration of the production of ammunition and missiles in 27 member countries of the bloc. The countries of the European Union and the European Parliament have agreed to allocate 500 million euros within the framework of the Act in support of ammunition production. The document is planned to be signed and made public at the end of July.
The speed of delivery and the pace certainly depend on the production, because now the production of ammunition is increased in the EU and the USA. It is not all done quickly. Therefore, let's put it in this way, the volume and scale of these deliveries largely depend on the size of the mass production of ammunition. Moreover, as far as we know from open sources, the defense industry of Ukraine has also launched the production of ammunition in various calibers that are used by the armed forces of Ukraine.
The Czech Republic, Slovakia and Poland are leaders in the supply of military assistance to Ukraine. Among the members of the European Union, countries have already provided Kyiv with more than 80% of the heavy weapons that were promised from them. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Larisa Zubenko, UATV News.